everyone, good afternoon. You're welcome to today's class. The back, or rather, the light is not so bright because rain is about to fall, so it has affected the brightness of our class. But we can still see what will be taught today. Excuse me, I have a little cough. We can still see probably what will be taught today, and that is the most important thing, that we can see and you can hear me clearly. If you can hear me, say yeah, 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 yeah. If you can hear me, say woo. I hear you, I hear you. Alright. Now, I'm sure you have wondered in your course as a student that after having prepared your ledger accounts, what is the next thing for you to prepare? And that brings me to today's class, which is what our trial balance. You're welcome to Accounting Made for Beginners by Zikan. Accounting Made Easy by Zikan. My name is Zikan. I produce and I teach, tutor accounting, financial accounting to students preparing for WAEC, NECO, ICANN exams, and MBA students that find financial accounting difficult. So if that sounds like you, or you know someone that has difficulty understanding financial accounting, do well to share my videos to those persons and kindly consider subscribing. Hit that bell so that you can be aware when I have new videos. We have done a little series, so far so good. This is like our 7th class in Accounting Made for Beginners. We started with what accounting is and all of it up till our trial balance. I want to encourage you to please check out my previous video when I taught us how to detect errors in your ledger account, because that is something that occurs while you're doing your normal posting. So that brings to today's class. Today we're talking about a very important topic, which is our trial balance. But before we go ahead, I want you to sit down and relax and prepare to enjoy a very interesting class. My intention is to make sure that at the end of every class, you go home with something. And I want to assure you that this is the only video on YouTube that simplifies accounting in a manner that even if you're just a layman and you follow me, you're going to understand all that I teach about accounting. Let's jump right into today's class. Now, like I said, today we're talking about trial balance. Now, what is trial balance? Because my objective is to make accounting very simplified, trial balance is just like the list of all your balances. After you have prepared your several ledger accounts, what are those balances? You're going to put the balances all together in a single sheet. In a single sheet. That is what your trial balance is. So let me just give us a very brief recap of how we got to our trial balance. We started by talking about what day books are, which is where you record your books, where you record your entries, first of all, your daily transactions. Before you now move those transactions, you take them a bit further and take them and post them in your ledger account. Sorry for that break in transmission. Alright, like I was saying, we put the lights, so the environment is a bit dark, but I know you can see me and hear me clearly. So let's continue. But let me just double check my lighting to ensure that you can see me. Just give me a moment, please, to see that. Okay. I think we are good. Alright, let's continue. Like I was saying, ignore the noise in the background. So like I was saying, now trial balance is the list of all the balances of all the ledger accounts that you have prepared for the particular period. You know, initially, let me give you a very brief recap. Before you got to our ledger accounts, we had journals, which is the first day book that we used to record our transaction. We have sales day book, purchase day book, and etc. There are about 7 of them. Now we transition from this day book, we transition to what? Our ledger account. So we have like our sales account, assets account, machinery account. Assets can be machinery, furniture, cash account. So now the balances that you have from these individual accounts is what is going to make up your trial balance. Just like your register, your attendance register in class, where the teacher will say, Peter, present. Let's assume you have like 5 students in the class. Okay? You have 5 students in the class. And then the teacher wants to call the attendance register. Are we together? So let's assume that this is the attendance register. ATR. And he has 5 students. And let's say 3 students. So he calls Paul. Paul will answer, present, sir. Peter, present, sir. Samuel, present, sir. So the same thing with our trial balance. The ledger account that you have prepared are going to answer present, sir. And what are we interested in? We're interested in getting the final figure, the balancing figure that they have in each individual account. We have talked about how to prepare ledger accounts in our previous videos. If you've not watched that, please go back and watch that accounting series and that particular video so you can flow with today's class. So, the balances in each of these individual ledger accounts is what you are going to just transfer and answer present as the case may be. Are we together? Present and transfer them to this particular sheet. This sheet will now have all the balances of all the individual ledger accounts. Let's say you have like 4 ledger accounts. You have your sales ledger account, cash account, debtor ledger account, supply ledger account. Now the balances that you have at the end of the period, you're going to transfer that balances and put that final figure in each of them on your trial balance. That is all we're doing. We're just moving information in a more summarized manner so that once I pick up this my trial balance, I can see the balance in each of the accounts. So your trial balance is just a list of all the accounts, a list of all the balances in all the accounts that you have prepared so far. So let's give us a typical example. So let's say we have the balance in our cash account, an example. Let's say we have our cash account. And the balance that we have there is, say, 50,000 naira. That's the balance that we have. And then we have our rent account. And the balance I have in my rent account is what? 10,000 naira. And then we have our capital account. So let me clean this since we are done with that scenario. What I have there is 80,000 naira. And then I have one last account, which is my sales account, and the balance there is 20,000 naira. So now I'm going to leave these balances that I have and put them here. But the next question I will ask myself is, because you know that this balance, this account, this our trial balance has what? A debit and a credit. Meaning that all the debit balances will go to the debit side, and all the credit balances will be recorded on the credit side. Are we together? So, first of all, you have to start with the name of the account. That's how you draw your trial balance. There must be a name what is the list of all the accounts. So you're going to write that first of all here, and then for each account, the balance that is there, is it a debit balance or a credit balance, as the case may be. So if it's a debit balance, I'm going to write on the debit side. If it's a credit balance, we write it on the credit side for each of them. Now, remember that we have rules in accounting, rules that guides our posting. And in our rules, we know that based on our rules, capital account is going to have what? It's going to be a credit balance because it is what? Equity. Liability, income, and capital account are what? Credit balances. So that means the credit balance will be on the what? The balancing figure is going to be on the credit side. Are we together? While assets and expenses, the balancing figure will be on the debit side. That's what our rules say. Are we together? So it means that this one is a CR balance, sales is a CR balance, rent is an expense, so it's a what? A debit balance. Cash is an asset, is a debit balance. So since I know where these balances belong to, let me start by writing the name of the account. We have my cash account. How much is that? 50,000 naira. Please ignore the noise in the background. I just opened the window because of light. There is no light so that we can have a brighter view. But this you can hear me clearly. Our rent account has 10,000 naira. Then we have our capital account. Which is a credit balance. So it goes to the credit side, and that is how much? 80,000 naira. Sales too is on the credit side, so the name of account is sales account. How much is that? 20,000 naira. Now, after you've listed all your balances, you're going to do what? Total them and get the final figure. And our trial balance, normally, the trial balance, the balance you have on the debit side should equal what you have on the credit side. That is how you know that you have posted correctly. The trial balance is very, very, very important. It does so many things. We talk about the purpose of a trial balance, but I want us to just understand why the accounts on the debit side must equal the what you have on the credit side. But that is, it is a norm. Just the way you know that as a priest, for instance, if you're a priest, most priests wear their priestly wear. That is what they wear every day, every time. And certain people when they have to go before one or two assignments, but when they are in churches, they wear their official wear, which is their regala. It could be green, it could be purple. So that is a standard for them. So using that same scenario is a standard that for your trial balance, at all times, the total figure you have on your debit side must equal what you have on your credit side.